Welcome to Real Talk Real Women. My name is Miriam, Khalladi, and today we have Fatima, Leite, Kusch from Vancouver on the show. Welcome, Fatima. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you so much. When people look at you, they may say, "Wow, she's lucky. I wish I could look like that." But they don't know how it all started. Can you tell us about your journey?
Wow. I guess like my journey into the fitness industry, I kind of dabbled a little bit in the gym when I was in my early 20s and started to get really interested in building muscle. I liked the way that it made my body look, and it was kind of a slow progress over time. And eventually I started to take courses to just get more information and learning just for my own self. And in 2006, I left my job because I was not happy there. It was just a really negative environment for me. And I didn't realize how bad it was because I was in it until I decided one day that it was time to go and try something else that I felt that I would be passionate about. And that was fitness. So in 2006, I started my very first boot camp sessions outdoors with girls that I used to work with. And pretty much the business has just kept changing and growing over that time. And I've become more and more involved in the fitness industry since then. And there's been no turning back. This is definitely my passion, and it's somewhere that I want to be. And I love being in it every single day. So yeah, I don't know if that answers the question that you were looking for exactly.
Yeah, wow, great. Yes, thank you. Going from 2 meals a day and having a cigarette as your post-workout meal to following a disciplined training and nutrition regimen is quite a drastic change. How did you manage to embrace this new lifestyle and make it stick?
So the new lifestyle for me, it didn't happen overnight. Going back into my history when I did used to smoke and eat very little, it changed over time, over a period of time. It definitely didn't happen overnight. So originally I started learning more about the gym. That was kind of my first thing when I was still smoking and going to the gym. And then eventually I came to a point a few years later where I realized I wanted to quit smoking. And part of quitting smoking was also learning better nutrition as well. And so I started getting a little bit more involved in nutrition and taking courses and learning more about that. And it's become like a progress over time for sure. When I quit smoking, I quit smoking. I never went back. In terms of changing my lifestyle, it's definitely happened over the years. Like each year I've changed a little bit more and a little bit more. And I think what really changed me the most is when I decided to do my first fitness competition. And I had different coaching along the way for my first few shows or my first few years of competing. And I learned a lot of different things, what was good about the type of nutrition that I was doing for each show, and also what was bad about it. And eventually over time, I kind of decided to take it into my own hands and figure out an approach that was more 365 days of the year versus just getting ready for a show and only eating a certain way because you want to look a certain way to get on stage. And that's something that I've been really working hard on with my own clients now, that I just think it's really important to have a lifestyle approach to it versus being really hardcore right before you get ready for a show, and then the show finishes and then you completely drop it and your lifestyle completely changes. Obviously, as you approach a showtime, your diet and your training is going to be more intense than it would be when you're further away from those times. But there's no reason why you can't have a really easy ride, is what I call it, like to get ready for a show. And so for me, like an off season, which is usually considered like more than 12 weeks away to a show date, should look fairly similar to what your on season looks like. You should be able to have flexibility and be able to live your life fairly normally all year round and just kind of carry a very similar body type all year round so that it's not so drastic.
Since then, after quitting your comfortable job in 2005, you've set and accomplished some pretty amazing goals. How important is goal setting, and how do you approach it?
Goal setting is really important to me because if you don't have goals, you're just kind of running blindly and you don't really have anything. You have no plans. You don't know if you've reached a milestone. For me, I love setting goals because I like to achieve different things. And so once I've reached a goal, I always like to set new ones. I know like right now for me, I have like many different goals. So I definitely like to keep track of, goals within my personal life, my business life, my training life. I have lots of different avenues of goals, I guess you could say. And so I think it's really important to definitely set small ones along the way that you can keep track of and like put a check mark next to and feel good about when you've gotten there. But it's also good to have more longer term, bigger goals so that, you have something bigger to work towards, in a longer period of time, say.
Yeah. And can you share some goals with our viewers?
Ooh, well, I have a new one, a very new one where I've just launched a new program, and it's called Blessed Little Sisters, and it's really near and dear to my heart. And it's the goal basically is we are starting with one teenage athlete that we're going to sponsor. Me as well as my team is involved, and we're basically going to sponsor her financially for her season, which for this particular athlete, which she doesn't know yet who she is. We haven't quite gotten to announcing that yet. We've just launched the program about a week ago. So the goal is to basically take care of her needs for her first year and possibly past that, depending on what her athletic endeavors look like in the years to come. But that's my small goal, is to be able to take care of her entire expenses. My large goal is to make this a really big program that takes care of multiple girls all year round. And we just keep taking on applications and bringing more people on. So my large goal is for sure a much bigger amount of athletes, I guess, that are going to be sponsored along the way.
Great. How did your environments respond to the new you?
The new me. I think pretty positively. Like I'm definitely, I know in my day-to-day life, my husband has been here for the whole way. And so he was, part of my life when I was in a job that I was really not happy in, and watched me come home every day. And I was very, very negative. And, one of the things he said to me one day is, why do you keep going back to this job that you keep coming home and you have nothing good to say? When was the last time you had something good to say about this job? You spend so much time there every day, and it's so negative, and obviously it's not enjoyable for him to be part of that. So, I mean, I can definitely speak from his perspective. In my new you, I think that, I'm definitely much more positive now, and I've always been driven, but I'm driven in a different way. Like I definitely am a workaholic for sure. But I really, really enjoy what I do. And I'm so passionate about working with the people who I work with, and, setting new goals and doing different things within my business. And so I think that regardless of how many hours I work in a day and how long my days are, I'm generally just much more happier to deal with, I think. So I know from his perspective, he's much happier with who I am now. And I'm pretty sure, anyone else would probably say the same thing if they spent the same amount of time that he does around me.
Not only did you transform your own physique and lifestyle, you've also helped many others do the same. What drives you to support other people in achieving their dreams, and how is it different from achieving your own fitness goals?
Wow. What drives me to help other people is definitely, it is such a reward to put so much time into someone and to have them come back with such positive feedback. And sometimes, people think it's all about the physical and that, they lost weight and they look better. But actually, I would say that's probably ends up being the least important part of their journey. They tend to just change on the outside as a person. Generally, like I definitely, a huge portion of my clients are women. A very big portion of my clients are women. And what I do see in these women is that their attitude changes. They're more positive. They're more successful just in day-to-day life because they feel better about themselves. They feel more accomplished because they've set goals to attain. And it's not really just about that their physique looks better. It really is that they've gone through a journey to get their physique to go and be a certain way. And so just overall, their life is different. And not only do I get to see, the result of that physically, but, I get obviously to see and learn about how their life has changed. And for me, I mean, how could that not be rewarding to see that you've taken part in someone's journey and it's not just me who's created that. That person has also created that. So we've worked on it together. Like, it's definitely not a one person accomplishment. It took two of us to make it happen.
What is the one thing that you've learned in coaching others that had the biggest impact on your own life?
On my own life. Wow, what has had the biggest impact on my own life? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. I guess it pushes me more and more every day to do more for people when I see the results and the transformations with their bodies and their minds. I don't know. It pushes me to work harder and always come up with new and better ways of doing things. Like, if something maybe didn't, go exactly how I would like it to be for someone, if it doesn't work necessarily, like maybe my approach doesn't work for someone, it's taught me to look more at myself and see what else I can change to make things work better. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of for that answer.
That's great. For people who are unable to work with you live, you've built an online training program. How does that work?
Actually, the majority of my clients are online. I don't think a lot of people know that. And I deal with very few people in person. There's a small handful of people that I deal with consistently in person. Regularly, and everyone else is online. And so the way it works is they have their own client profile online where they enter in a lot of different information that I need in order to help put their program together. So once kind of everything's set up, they receive a workout plan and a nutrition plan, and they check in with me multiple times throughout the month. So it depends on what our goals are. So if they're a lifestyle client, generally they'll check in a couple of times a month. And there's certain things that they need to answer to me when they check in, certain questions that I need to know from them, certain information that I collect from them. And so when they check in, we have all of our correspondence is done by email. Once in a while, we set up Skype calls like this. If they would like some extra help or need some extra, different information that maybe emails is not enough for them. So, and then we just kind of go back and forth, and things get changed in their program as needed as we go along. And as goals are changed or as goals are attained, then we might change, to a new goal or something like that. And we just kind of go back and forth pretty much. Just about, I would say 98% of all my work is done through email online.
Besides your own competing and your coaching work, you do incredible things with Blessed Little Sisters. Can you tell us more about it?
So Blessed Little Sisters is something that I started because as a teenager myself, I had struggles. Sorry, this is it's kind of an emotional topic for me. It's something that I've wanted to do for a long time because of my own experience as a teenager, which was I was very into sports. And just because of my family's financial situation, I wasn't able to kind of continue on with the sport that I was really especially interested in being involved in. And, for many different reasons. So, my parents both had full-time jobs and they were working very hard, and we, had 4 kids to take care of and all that kind of stuff. And so for me, it was always something that I looked back on wishing that things had been different. And as I've kind of gotten into my adult life, it's always been something that I've had a strong passion to want to help other girls that are in a similar situation for, whatever their reasoning is. They just can't afford to lift finances for their sport, or it might even be in the situation with Blessed Little Sisters that maybe they don't have rides to get to their games, their practices. So we're sort of taking each Blessed Little Sister one at a time and seeing what their needs are, and then figuring out different ways to help take care of their needs. So it might be financial, it might be assistance with something like driving them to a game and things like that. So so basically, I guess the answer is the idea came from something that I went through when I was younger, and it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And I actually looked into some different organizations who sort of provide something similar, and I just felt that what I was available to do and what they were offering wasn't a good fit. And I realized about a year ago that why don't I just make my own version of what I want it to be instead of trying to fit into something that an organization has already started. And so finally this year, I just felt like it's time for me to give back. And, business has been really great. I've been blessed in so many ways, and I'm just so grateful for all the amazing things that have been happening for me in my life. And I reached out to my team and I let them know my background and my story and the reasons why I was wanting to start this up. And it was just the most amazing response. I didn't expect it. I didn't really know what response was going to be. And immediately, I mean, I think almost every single person on the team had something positive to say back about it. And everyone's been so interested in being involved. And so far, like every task we've had to kind of start getting things going for the program, every time I've had a task that I've shared with the team, here's what we need to do, and this is what I'm looking for, people right away are offering, free services to help. For example, the logo that we just had made, 3 different people offered to make logos immediately for us. And it's just, I've received emails after we announced it online from people just randomly offering different things that maybe could help in the future as we move forward with the program. So I mean, it's been really, really exciting, and we have lots of work to do. It's only just begun, but I just feel like it's the right time, and it just feels like it's time to get started, and everything seems to be coming into place like exactly as it should. So it's really good.
Wow, what an incredible job!
Yeah.
You've done so many great things. What is the one thing you're most proud of, and why?
Well, I would say right now the one thing I'm most proud of is starting the Blessed Little Sisters program. I know it's just started and we've really barely begun, but just the fact that we're getting it's happening, and it's in the public now, and we're making it happen. And for me, for sure, there's nothing else that I could be more proud of. It doesn't matter the accomplishments, pro cards, magazine spreads; those are all absolutely amazing things that I'm grateful for, but this by far to me is definitely my proudest moment. And like I said, we're just starting. So
what's the best place for people to connect with you online?
To connect with me online, definitely my website is the best place to contact me. My personal website is FatimaLeiteKusch.com, and it's spelled exactly as my name is. I won't spell it out for you because that'll take too long. And then my other online site is Fitness Print, which is the online coaching program that I have developed. So that's fitnessprint.com. And then Blessed Bodies, which is our competitors group. So the team is under blessedbodies.com, which will guide you back to the Fitness Print site as well. So I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, but definitely the best way to get in touch with me is to go through my website for sure.
Okay, I will make sure to put all the links below this video.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Is there anything else you would like to share with our viewers?
I don't think so. I think you definitely covered I think all the main things that I would want to talk about for sure. I think you got everything.
Okay. I really enjoyed having you on the show, Fatima.
Thank you.
It was amazing.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're most welcome. My name is Miriam Khalladi, and I will see you on the next episode of Real Talk, Real Women.